What is going on, Swoopers? Welcome back to another episode of Swoop Luke. In this episode, we'll be previewing the, I don't want to say the season-defining clash, but fuck, it feels like it. Hawthorn, Collingwood. Let's run that intro, jump straight into it. So just before we do jump straight into it, if you can, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell if you're new here. I really do appreciate it. If you're a returning swooper, welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. I just released a new video with Mick McGuan, Collingwood legend, Collingwood premiership player, dual Copeland Trophy winner. I'll link that up here somewhere or down below. 25 minutes of pure Collingwood talk, absolutely amazing. Also, follow my Twitch, follow my Instagram, follow me on TikTok. We'll do some TikTok dances, but let's just jump straight into this preview now. So the Hawks have had an up and down 3 weeks. 3 weeks ago, they absolutely smashed the Tigers. 2 weeks ago, they were beating the Roos by quite a bit, but the Roos came back in that last quarter. They only ended up winning by, I think, 4 or so points. And then last week, they got absolutely smashed by the Giants. Now, Hawthorn are a bit of a conundrum, especially this season, like I just said. You know, they even beat the Brisbane Lions in the first round, you know, which felt like 12 months ago. But Hawthorn play this start and stop footy, very defensive. We know Alistair Clarkson is a very defensive coach. That was exploited last week against the Giants. Giants took hold of him and they had no chance of coming back. They did cop a couple of injuries, I think 3 injuries. Lewis, Shields and Scrimshaw. You know, Gunston's been doing what Gunston does, kicking a bunch of goals. And they got Jaeger O'Meara and obviously Tom Mitchell running their midfield. But like I said, they're just sitting on top of us on the ladder. They've won 3 games, you know, more than us. And their form's just a little bit wavy, but we don't, you know, historically, in the last 10 years, Hawthorn have had the wood over us for so long. Collingwood, not much to say here. 2 really shitty-ass performances, you know, against the Giants. And then, you know, what was worse was the game against Essendon. Our start and stop footy isn't going to win us games. We're pretty much doing what Hawthorn does. You know, the start and stop, lead out the back, kick behind, and it's just very... When we're losing, I know it's a bit of, you know, of course, when we're losing, but when we're losing, it is a boring style of play, and that's how we've been playing these last couple of weeks. But, like I mentioned in a video previously, our defense is impeccable and we are keeping teams to a lower score. We just have to attack more, so our form has fluctuated as well. So pretty much Collingwood and Hawthorn have been on the same sort of path this season. So the last time we played them, you're going to have to cast your minds back to pretty much this time last year. This was when Hawthorn beat us. This was when Hawthorn beat us by less than a goal. They kicked 5 goals in that last quarter. I think we got up to a 3 or 4 goal lead. Correct me if I'm wrong. And this was the game where we did have them by the scruff of the neck. And of course, it just seems to be the exact same thing. Never put them to the sword. We let them come in. We let them attack. They kicked 5 of the last 6 or 7 goals. They kicked 4 of the last 6 goals in that last quarter, and they just capitulated on a team where we just weren't gelling. It was our 2nd loss in a row last year, and it kind of took us out of the top 4, and it wasn't a very good morale booster for that season. But like I said, historically, Hawthorn played really well against us. So one of the main key areas and the key matchups that I would like to see is if they persist with McAvoy in the back line. Cameron, Himmelberg and Finlayson just absolutely monstered him in there. The week before against the Roos, he did have a good game, but he absolutely got monstered in there. So I'm hoping Callie might check and do the same. If we keep Cox in there, I don't think he'll play, but he would be a good matchup for Ben McAvoy. Obviously, McAvoy's still ruck, so he will go up a Grundy at some point. But they're using Segler as the main ruckman, and he's actually, you know, ex-Collingwood player. He's actually doing pretty well for Hawthorn in the ruck position. But yeah, I'd love to see how that back line works with McAvoy there going up against, Kelly as the debutant first year, or Checkers, or Cox. Last week, like I mentioned previously in this video, we played a real start and stop game, very defensive, chipping the ball, lots of handballing. Yes, it was wet, and we don't really play good in the wet, but we tend to overuse the ball a little bit, and I would love to see one of the main areas, and I'm pretty sure, Buckley and the coaches and stuff will be working on it in training, is just attacking faster and harder. We're a good attacking side when we want to be. Yes, our forwards aren't firing, but if we get the ball into them quick enough, they're not going to have 3 or 4 Hawthorn defenders straight on them. If Cox comes out of the team, it takes away that let's just bomb it long and hope for the best. Eyes lower to the ground, for your Callum Browns, for your Steve-Os, obviously not Dugowie in there this week. But yeah, I just want to see faster ball movement. None of this kicking backwards shit. It's just really, really, really annoying to watch and boring to watch. And we want to see goals on the board. We don't want to be winning games. Well, I guess you do want to be winning games, but what I mean to say is, winning boring games is still winning, but sometimes boring games are just like shit, man. You just want to turn the TV off, you know what I mean? So I want to see just fast, attacking, exciting football, but still keeping that defensive side of us. I do think our backline does have their work cut out for them a little bit, with the likes of Wingard, Gunston when he's up there, O'Meara when he's resting forward, even like, Tim O'Brien, Sicily. They've got all these players. The thing about Hawthorn is they've got all these players where they're dual position. They can change. Sicily can be forward, but then he can go back. They've got all these players that can interchange between each other. So, Maynard, Main, Varco, Crisp, Darcy Moore, Roughhead, they're all going to have to be kept on their toes to, make sure we don't get overrun like we did against Essendon. We had a good, half of that first quarter, and then the Essendon forwards were just a little bit too fast for us. We were a little bit flat-footed, and that just can't happen against these Hawks. Predicted ins and outs. So, as we know, Will Kelly is making his debut. I am beyond happy. I heard it, started doing a little dance. I've been talking about this kid all season, and he is hopefully the answer to what we've been looking for up forward. Absolutely smashing it in the practice games. I think he's kicked about 6 goals in the last 2 games, can take a good mark. Looks absolutely swole. Like, his arm is as big as, my head almost. Like, he's just gotten huge, gotten a little bit taller. Could be our next key forward for the next 12 years. Obviously, son of Craig Kelly, brother of Jake Kelly. But he looks the absolute goods. And if he comes good, starts taking marks. He doesn't have to have, 30 disposals and 12 goals on Friday night. But, if he kicks a goal, he just presents, he's young, he's hungry, he wants to keep his spot in the team because spots are hard to come by. I think he'll go a long way in our plans, obviously. And saves us some money when, we can keep the goal, we can keep more. We don't have to go for a Jeremy Cameron type because we've got this guy in the mould of him. Just has to put on a little bit more kgs in the off season, but he looks an absolute product, so he's definitely in. Another guy I would like to see in, and I used to call his praises all the time last season. Haven't been doing it so much this season because he seems a little bit out of favour, but Isaac Quaynor, I need him into this team. That run and dash off halfback, probably our best, youngest player in our squad at the moment. We paid a hefty price for him as a NGA to come to this club in the draft. Lots of points. I think he went 14 or 15 in the draft when we paid our points for him. So we did pay a hefty price for him. He did have those injuries last year, but the dash off halfback, the immaculate ball use that we were seeing, and his never say die attitude, and his haircut. I just want to see that all right up into one on the footy field on Friday night. So I feel like we will win this game. Luke, you say that all the time. Yeah, I do. But I do actually feel like we're going to win this game by 3 points. We're going to win this. Oh, no, that hurts. We're going to win this game by 8 points. So they just can't come back in that last 10 seconds like we usually let other teams come back in. But I feel like Hawthorn can be doing real shithouse, but somehow they match up really well against us. They play really well against us. We'll get our second win under Buckley against the Hawks on Friday night. And my big call, is it a big call? Not really. I think Will Kelly is going to kick 3 goals. That is my big call. Those are my predictions, and of course, would love to hear them down below for you guys. Anyway, that has been my preview on this must-win clash against Hawthorn. Obviously, I would love to know what you guys think. Leave your big call, leave your predictions down below. Did you listen to the Mick McGuan interview? Are you following me on Twitch? Leave them all down below. You know I love having a conversation with you. If you've made it this far, thank you so much. Really appreciate you. Leave me a dope in the comment section below, so you know I can give you a little bit more praise personally. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers, I'll swoop you later.